Yeah, so we basically in Glasgow, it's like there's two levels. So there's like a smaller room downstairs, which is like, kind of more for like small bands and stuff. And then it's like bigger bands and events upstairs,
Uh-huh.
which was the actual classic movie theater. So we were up obviously in the theater, and the smaller venue was like for this like Irish band basically,
Okay.
but an Irish band that has a connotation with a lot of football, right? So
Gotcha.
that was the crowd, right? You can imagine it was quite a mixed bag of nuts coming through the door that day.
I
And
bet.
I'm on the door and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is wild. Like, I mean, there was a lot of banter, but a lot of like, oh my God, this is so bizarre. Because obviously, Kurt Angle, everybody's turning up in these like shirts that are like red, white, and blue, and then everyone else is turning up in like green, and it's like, oh my God,
It's
like,
like, oh no.
we're like, no, 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 this is wrestling, this is
Yeah.
mad. So anyway, it was funny. Like everybody was in good form. But there was this one guy who was absolutely plastered going to the gig, and he came past me on the door. And like, there's like these people in Glasgow that go about in the streets and they sell like roses, and
Hmm.
it's like basically just like buy a rose. This guy had obviously bought one, and then comes up to the door and he's like, "This is for you." And I was like, "Oh, that's very kind, thank you very much." And then as the night progressively got on, because people kept buying me drinks like
Yeah.
down at the doors, I was like, "Absolutely, I'm not saying no." So I was hammering it, and then we got upstairs, watched the show. Obviously, drinks were flowing, and then when Kurt finishes, I'm standing there with this rose, and he walks into the backstage bit, and he looks at me, and he looks at the rose, and I'm like, really awkward because I'm like, I don't know how to explain this. So I just went, "This is for you." I was like, "This is for you, Mr. Angle." And he was like that. He was like, "Really?
It's
Thank
like,
you." And he took it. And I was
cool.
like, "I know." He took it. And I was just like, "Just so you know," I was like, "This rose," I was like, "I don't know if you're familiar with the story of Beauty and the Beast." And I was like, "But this rose comes with a lot. So you can't actually, like, just leave it here or throw it away because I'll know and our love will end." And he was just like, "Okay." And then honestly, to his credit, he actually packed it in his bag. And I was like standing in the corner of the dressing room watching this happen, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Oh, that's so funny.
I mean, obviously he's probably like ditched it as soon as he got into the hotel, but I was just like, oh, the fact that he even did that just
What
in
a
front of
sweetheart.
He is honestly the nicest guy, so much fun, like just pure up for chat, up for banter. Like he's just so great. I honestly, and I was like the whole night, like the next day, I was like, oh my God, I was so drunk, and I'm like literally leaning over him while he's sitting down, going, "So Molly on merch, when she got married, I said like if she ever got married, I'm wearing a tiny cowboy hat, like you did to the wedding." And he was just like, "Uh-huh, uh-huh." And then I was
Uh-huh.
like, and then it turned into a theme, and all the bridesmaids were themed. And he was just like, "What the hell is wrong with you people?" Like his wee face, he was just like, "This is so much." And I could see his agent just being like, "Who are these people?"